Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our governing board meeting. We will have roll call, please. Here? Here.
Here. Here.
Okay, if you can all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we need to approve the agenda this evening. I'm going to make a motion to approve the agenda, removing items C2 through C5. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of minutes from our last board meeting in July 13th. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Next, we have the superintendent's report. Dr. Sprout.
All right, thank you, President Berrigan. We're going to go back to right before school started, and we began with our new staff induction, and it was a great success. Our instructional coaches led outstanding sessions on how to effectively implement our district curriculum, integrating technology in the classroom management, and our mentoring program, MINT. 97.3% of participants rated their sessions as a 4 or 5 on a scale of 1 to 5, and we say congratulations to all of our new teachers that have started now, or new staff that are now into their 3rd week of school. Our annual Welcome Back celebration for all staff at the beautiful Orpheum Theater was a great success. In addition to having incredible parent speakers about the impact of our staff, a massive rock, paper, scissors tournament, door prizes, and employee recognitions, we also introduced this year's theme, Growing Together, which celebrates our employees that support and develop each other and our students. It was a wonderful morning. I want to thank the board for all being there for our Welcome Back celebration. We got a little off on our order here. We had a wonderful first day of school on August 7th, and it was a very smooth week. I want to say thank you to all of our staff, our parents, our community, our students for getting the year off to a great start. The district is currently right around 2% growth, and so we're very excited about that as well, welcoming many, many new families and students. Levine was well represented at the Arizona Association of School Business Officials, or ASBO, conference in Tucson this summer. The following administrators received awards at the event. First of all, Julie Carson received the Pete Perkins Memorial Scholarship Award, a $1,000 scholarship that is awarded to one individual each year to recognize enrollment in programs and to improve business and technical skills. Let's give Julie a round of applause. She's sitting down. Our Executive Director of Finance, Ashley Miranda, was recognized for completing the Aspiring Schools Business Officials Academy, a 15-month program designed to provide the core competencies necessary for the up-and-coming school business officials. And so congratulations to Ashley, wherever you are back there. There she is. Let's give her a... And apparently they have this tradition called the hat, and our very own Chief Financial Officer, Charlie Martin, received the hat, which has been awarded to an outstanding ASBO member each year since 1981. Congratulations, Charlie Martin. Let's give him a round of applause. And then Robert Jacobson and Julie Carson each co-taught sessions of the conference and received the ASBO Gold Award for participation in the organization. So congratulations to them. It goes, as you can see, we have the top business department in the state. No offense to Mr. Berrigan back there, but they are outstanding, and we are very thankful for them. So congratulations. The Levine School District has 8 schools that are being recognized for installing and sustaining positive behavioral interventions and supports, or PBIS systems, to improve the academic and behavioral outcomes for students. All 8 schools received the highest level of the award, level 4, that recognizes schools with fidelity at all levels. The Levine School District has more level awards than any other school in Arizona. So let's give all of our staff a round of applause for that. Our 8 full-day preschool programs are all at capacity. We have a record 160 students enrolled across 4 campuses: Desert Meadows, Paseo Point Dual Language Academy, Estrella Foothills Global Academy, and Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy. In addition, we have 18 students on the wait list. We provide the best preschool in this area, and we are very thankful for our preschool staff. The Levine School District currently employs 1,043 employees. At the moment, we have a total of 39 vacancies district-wide. It's the highest staffing rate that we have ever seen. We attribute this to increases we made to our salary schedules and our employee experience, where we commit that if you work for the Levine School District, you will have an opportunity to make an impact, to have the support needed to do your job at the highest levels, opportunities for advancement, a competitive salary and benefits, and celebrations. So I just, before I move on to the next slide, Butch, I would just like to say thank you. Go ahead and move to the slide, just don't click the, because we have a little tribute here. What does 1,043 staff members look like? Here we go. Governing Board, that is your team of 1,043 incredible employees. I would like to say it is wonderful to be almost fully staffed at our highest levels. Thank you to our Human Resources Department, our administrators, but most of all, we thank our employees. Thank you for working with the Levine School District and the impact that you are making in the lives of students, the community, and each other. And with that, President Berrigan, that wraps up the superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sprout. Right now, we have the call to the public regarding agenda items. I don't think any of the call to the publics I've received are on agenda items. I think they're all non-agenda items. We'll get to that portion of the meeting shortly, okay? Next, we have the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next, we are on our action items. The first item is the second reading of the proposed policies listed in the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is the modification to the learning observation instrument. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the first reading of the policy revisions to GCO. Do I have a motion? And we can choose to waive the second reading and adopt that tonight, or we can do a second reading at the next board meeting. I'll take a motion either way.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Can I ask you for a clarification? When you made your motion, was the motion to waive the second reading?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Next, we have the 23-24 Classroom Site Fund Performance Pay Plan. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is the 23-24 Educator Effectiveness Plan. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the SFOB Capital Plan submittal for the School Facilities Oversight Board. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is the land acquisition resolution for school number 11. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded? Yep. Okay. All those, or excuse me, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Terms and conditions for the acquisition of land for, excuse me. Oh, yeah, terms and conditions for the acquisition of land for school number 11. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, the memorandum of understanding for the transportation grant. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. The next item is the ASBA, Arizona School Boards Association, proposed 2024 political agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor? Excuse me, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then the ASBA 2024 Delegate Assembly member selection. I would like to nominate Linda. Do you accept that nomination? Yep. Okay. I just need a second on that.
Second.
Second, okay. Oh, do we need to select an alternate too?
I'll be motion.
Thank you. Dr. Watkins is the alternate. Thank you, guys. It has been motioned for Linda to be the delegate and for Dr. Watkins to be the backup on that. Do all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next we are on to comments from the board. We'll start at the end. Tony, any comments?
Thank you. Excited about our third week of school. The welcome back celebration was a lot of fun. My daughter is super excited about school. I want to give a big thank to the 1,043 staff members that we have to keep the school moving, all the schools moving along in this growing community. Excited for Paseo Point Dual Language Academy now being known as that, and Rogers Ranch STEM Academy also being known as that. So we're super excited about all of this. With that, I'd like to pass it over. Thank you.
Linda?
Also, just thank you to the staff and everybody for a good start to the year. I know my own kids have had a great start to the year, and the other parents in the community I've talked to, it's been a good year, lots of excitement for the things coming up and all the plans that have been put in place by our admin and teachers, and so just looking forward to a great year. Thanks to everyone who's been working so hard to get this year ready.
Thank you. Dr. Watkins?
Just excited for the year. It's good to see all the people in the room today. Hopefully we can get resolved to things we need to get resolved.
Okay. The district is aware of a video that is being circulated, and because video does only tell part of the story, we began to investigate that immediately. We acknowledge that the holds used in the video were not appropriate, and we do not condone such conduct. Our staff members undergo training for holds and will continue to undergo training for holds. The district officially reported the incident on the same day that it occurred, and the Phoenix Police Department are still investigating the matter, with which we are cooperating fully. We had staff participate in interviews this past week. Throughout this process, we have maintained open lines of communication with the family, and we want to emphasize that the employee no longer works at the district. And our commitment to all students is for their safety and well-being. We want to assure you that we are here to listen this evening, and we value your input. During this evening's public comments, therefore, we have allocated 2 minutes to each speaker, and we are committed to hearing everyone's voice. This matter holds great significance to all of us, and we wish to continue a dialogue with our community on this. I truly believe that what sets Levine apart and makes us special is the diversity in our community, the fact that we have a sense of community, and our commitment to collaboration. And I want to urge us to continue to work together even through the difficult times. And when we work together, we learn together, and we progress together. With that, we will move into our public comments, and I will have the clerk, Ms. Anderson, read the statement from the board before we start with our first speaker.
Great. The call to public is on the regular board agendas to provide everyone the opportunity to be heard. The governing board understands the importance of communication with the public and welcomes and values your comments, concerns, input, and praise. The governing board cannot comment or answer issues brought up at the call to public because only items listed on the agenda for discussion or action may be addressed. This does not mean that your comments will be forgotten or that the board does not care what you think. The governing board president will discuss them with the superintendent, and every effort will be made to answer your questions and or resolve your concerns. Thank you for caring about the children of the Levine Elementary School District and for taking time out of your busy schedule to address the governing board.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Anderson. Our first public comment, the name is not on here. There's a signature that I can't read. I don't want to read this person's personal. The phone number starts in 323 that you listed. Could that be you out there? The email is a Gmail email? No? Okay, we'll come back to this one at the end, so if I haven't called your name, that's probably you, that the name wasn't written on here, okay? The next person, I believe the first name is Nye, N-Y-E Miller. Yes. Come on up, right here.
Actually, I would like to give it to Danielle. Jordan.
Okay, do you have a public comment on here too? We can.
I do. I actually going to have a lot of time to speak.
We don't transition time from one speaker to another, so each speaker gets 2 minutes.
Let the mother speak.
Yep, we're going to let her speak.
And they're going to give me my time. Is that okay? I think after everything, it should be worth it, don't you?
We do have a policy where we keep
I
it to 2
understand,
minutes.
but in this situation with a kid being choked,
Mhm.
in need, and can't breathe,
Mhm.
you would think you would give me some time to speak. I would love for you to do the right thing and let me speak. Don't hide. We can't hide no more.
Oh, I don't think anybody's hiding. Do we need to check in with the attorney to see what
There's
that does
nothing
in
in
relation
the
to our
open law
policy?
rules stating that we cannot transfer our time.
Dr. Strauss?
Let me speak.
Okay, if you would just give us a moment to confer with our attorney, we don't want to break any rules or any laws, okay? We'll check in on that. If
Thank
you'll
you.
give us just a minute, we'll
Thank
take a
you.
recess.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Let me speak. When he yelled for help and you did nothing, when Elsa lied to me about that nothing went on.
When the board stated that they've been in constant contact and working with the family.
When you refused to return my calls, when you just called me last night because you knew I posted the video.
When the assistant superintendent followed this child into the bathroom.
And waited with my kid and watched him urinate while assaulting him for 5 minutes, and Jessica E. Pax aided and abetted, shooing everybody away while my son was being attacked. How about when he couldn't breathe and he was yelling for help? And Kathy Davis silenced all of your administrators for speaking up. How about when Jeff Sprouts didn't even do a police report?
Or when
How
the
about
video
that?
didn't just come out, this is the school's video.
How about you just gave awards for PBS and you choked my son? You didn't practice nothing that you just stated up there was practice on my kid at no point. Please let me speak. How about Jessica E. Pax having twin kids and seeing your kids being choked, lifeless, and standing around? What would you do? You would want to speak, right? You would let me speak.
Okay,
How about when you sign an oath to report, and it's your duty to report, and you don't? Let me speak. Let me speak.
yeah, Ms. Jordan.
Let me
Yeah,
speak.
I-
You have nothing to hide, right? You you've been trying to get in contact with me.
Yes.
You didn't send Dr. Leolis, the special education director, to deal with my son. You sent your intimidator, Kathy Davis.
Can I just get clarification on which other people who have filled out call the public?
Everybody stand up. They're getting
All of them
louder
on here?
time.
Okay, all right. We've got 15 of them, so that will give you a half an hour. Okay?
So I want to start off by thanking you guys for letting me speak. I've been trying to speak since April the 25th, and nobody returned my calls. Thank you. Now, I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but I think I should get some of it. Let me tell you what exactly happened, the truth. And let me clear up a few things before I get into my story by saying Jeff Sprouse never called me. He never attempted to work things out. He told somebody he didn't call me in April, May, June, July, August, because everybody was on vacation. He didn't make it a point to talk to me. When I came running in this office crying, holding my cell phone, talking to police, telling them my son was just choked and demanded to speak to Dr. Sprouse, he didn't want to talk to me. He didn't come out one time. You were all sitting here in a board meeting, a staff meeting. Not one person left this office to come and talk to me. I got Jessica Epack's statement saying, I communicate with parents. I'm here for parents. She didn't come talk to me. She didn't tell me my son was choked and set on. She didn't do a police report reporting it, and it was her duty. So with that being said, thank you for letting me speak. Now, April 25th, my son was April 24th, my son was suspended. I didn't receive any no notice, a phone call saying what happened, or anything. My kid arrived, showed up at the school to receive his education that day. But they were upset at that. They was upset that he was there because they didn't have no supports to even deal with him because you had this meeting on April 25th that day, and you didn't have staff to deal with my son. So you suspended him and made up an allegation that he didn't do, saying he wandered into another classroom, a classroom that he was actually reported by the one-on-one that he was allowed to go in and that he helped another student. So we came up with reasons to dismiss my kid. My son shows up. You guys take him to the counselor's classroom where he attempted to call me to let me know, come get him. In his chance of calling me and I'm on the line, I hear Kathy Davis, a rough-on, tough-on, wrestling with him, twisted his wrist, telling me, tell him to get off that phone and don't call me. Once I got that call, I immediately headed over here. By the time I got here, I waited in the office for 15 minutes to see my son. 15 minutes for you guys to call Kathy Davis, the person who assaulted him, back to the campus to cover her story. Kathy Davis told everybody in the office that not to say nothing, and they listened. They listened. Kathy Davis has been harassing my family for over 10 years. She showed up to my house several times, let herself in, and continued to come back, and y'all didn't care. I filed a whole OCR complaint complaining about her harassment. Nothing was done about it. My son, after leaving that resource classroom, ran to the bathroom for help. She followed him into the bathroom, watched him urinate, threatened him, told him she was going to kill him, putting her hands on him. He rushed to this office right here to get some help, to use this phone right here to call me for help. During that process, she stopped him, pulled him by the collar, choking him from the back of the neck, fell down on him, kneeing him to his ribs with her elbow and her knees, choked him for several minutes, to where when she got up, he lay lifeless trying to catch his breath. And you did nothing. All the time, my son screaming for help, and you have 4 staff, including the principal, Jessica Epax, not paying attention, not helping him, acting like this is a normal day at this school. I'm saddened because He depended on Jessica E. Pax. He looked up to her. He thought that she would protect him. And all she did was watch and gave cover. Didn't once call or say anything. Didn't call for help, didn't get her off him, just stood there. I got a message today, though. Message that was sent from Mr. Sprouts. Phone call from last night. Mr. Sprout says Jessica didn't say nothing because she was in shock. This is what going on in April, May, June, July, August, almost 6 months. Is she still in shock? She never reported it. She never stood up and said what happened. How long is she in shock for? During this call that Mr. Sprouts had with someone, he shared a little bit of information, which sounded alarming to me. He let us know that he has a black child. See, the problem is color weighs too much, it gives too much power. When I'm talking about my kids, I don't say I have a black kid. I don't say I have a white kid. We all bleed the same. He made it a point to say that he had a black kid that he adopted. And I respect that. But when you can draw that color line and put a color around your kid's name, it's a problem. He then said, the question was asked to him, would you trust your black child with Jessica E. Pax? In that situation, would you send your black child to Jessica E. Pax? He paused for a second. He said, well, yeah. He said, she's the best I got. This is the best you got? What is the worst you got? She watched a kid get choked and didn't say nothing. If she is the best you got, please let me know what's the worst you got. He said, she understands cultural competency. She's good with culture. She understands black people. That was his comment. It was that color line for me that was drawing, that difference between white and black so openly when I don't see color, when my kids don't see color. They wasn't raised to see color. That got me. I respect his position. I respect his cheering. But what hurts is that you didn't take the time to call me. You didn't take the time to even apologize. You didn't take the time to treat my kid as a man. You didn't take the time to even respect me as a parent. You didn't reach out to me. You lied to these fine people and said that you did. And you know darn well you didn't. So I'm very offended. You didn't try to help me. You didn't try to offer services. You denied my kid of his homework. I came up here. Elsa denied my kid of his homework. Jessica denied my kid of his homework. He couldn't even get homework to finish out the year. After this incident on the 25th, I showed up to the school because I was weighing protection over education. That's bad when a parent gotta weigh protection over education, which is important. But I figured he don't need education if he's dead. It doesn't matter at that point, right? So I showed up just to see how much the school district was gonna help me and keep my son safe. As soon as I showed up, guess who I seen in the parking lot? Your SRO officer, Robin Ortez, who covered up the event, refused to let somebody else work the case, who lied on police reports about what happened, who refused to press charges, who refused to submit charges that's been pressed. And also, you doubled down. You sent Kathy Davis back to the school, a whole adult who choked the kid unconscious. You sent her back to the school. All for my son. You didn't suspend her. I'm trying not to go everywhere with this story because I'm really emotional, so bear with me. I want to give you a little story. I talked to Mr. Thomas, your HR director. We had a conversation. He called me in, gave me an appointment. I was very grateful. When I arrived to the appointment, you know what the first thing said? Let me see all the videos you got. He didn't ask about my son. He was worried about how much information was going to get out there. Let me see all your videos. That's what he cared about. I didn't show him, of course. I'm not stupid. But I asked him, I said, I need Kathy Davis drug tested because she appeared toxic. during the time of this incident. I asked him to suspend and do an investigation. He did none of that. He doubled down and kept these same people in school. He didn't suspend. He didn't investigate. He didn't drug test. He didn't do anything. He allowed them back on campus. You know what I took from that? I took that your staff, your favorite staff, your favorite principal, Jessica Epax, was more important than my son. That your staff was more important than my son. You know how much that hurt? You know what else hurt it? Is where I still didn't get a call from you, but my attorneys got a letter telling me you disenrolled my son. After everything that went on, you had the nerve and audacity to disenroll my son. Like I did something to you. His color did something to you. I don't care if your son is black. His color did something to you. For you to even have the audacity to don't even show no empathy and disenroll my son before you even checked on him. Before you said, hey, Danielle, what are you going to do? What can we work out? You disenrolled him. You tried to sweep this under the rug. That's why I'm here today. I'm in the same field as you. I work with schools. I work with school districts. I work with behavioral health kids, and we have a duty to warn and protect. You didn't. You chose staff over kids, which is frightening to me. So what got me is that I'm hearing that you now hired 1,100 police officers to come into this elementary school district. That is frightening to me. It's frightening because when I called for help for my son, someone that was supposed to protect him was on your side. I asked for someone else to do this investigation, and she refused, only because she knew she wasn't going to bring charges. She wasn't going to notify anybody, and that's exactly what she did. She worked for the district. She didn't work for our kids. If you're going to bring officers in this school, and I respect that because we need people to take care of the building, to ensure no terrorist acts, no gun violence, but not at one time should they ever have to deal with our kids. You need case managers. You need licensed behavioral health technicians. You need a third party to help you bridge the gap between student and parent. Someone who's not going to be biased and going to have genuinely respect and care for the kids. Because what you did was put the police in a horrible position. She lied on the reports. Not only the people that was involved and people that aided and abetted and lied to my son, Elsa, on video, saying, nothing happened, you're lying, nothing went on, is going to have justice. I'm going to see that everybody who had a part in it be held accountable. I guarantee that. Only for the simple fact you swept my son under the rug. That's one major part. You forgot about him. You didn't care enough about him, and you disenrolled him like he's done something to you. This baby, my baby, 10 years old, he's 5'3", size 10 shoe. He could have took her if he wanted to. Let's be honest. He's a big kid. He didn't push her. He didn't even elbow her. He didn't fight back. She laid on him tight, struggled, put them in a headlock. But you mad at me? You saying how I harassed you because I advocate for services for my son. That's not harassment, that's good parenting. I raised a good kid. He didn't touch this lady. We have a big family. Everybody is respectful in my home. Guess what? I had a right to protect my son. I could have attacked Kathy. I could have did something when she came to my house several times. You know why I didn't? I got home training and I got respect. Same thing I teach my kids. That's the kind of point. What gets me is that you use the police to weaponize people. You used them for 10 years to weaponize me. You know how many police reports we got with the district? Because you tried to trespass me when trying to protect my kids and advocating for their care. When I came in here running for help, you knew that Kathy was trying to trespass me. This is a public property. I belong here. You weaponize minorities, you weaponize parents, to get them to leave, to get them out of school because you don't want to deal with them. You're maybe tired of the parents, you're tired of me requesting services, you're tired of me telling OCR on you, you're tired of me telling the school board on you. You just want to get rid of me. You just want me to shut up. I'm not. I'm not, because you can do better. I remember when you got hired on for this position, I was right here at this board meeting. I clapped for you. I was happy to see you because I thought we can make some change and my son will be protected. You got in this position and did the same thing the last superintendent did. We need some change. I'm demanding that you get somebody who cares up in here. He doesn't. You want to hang on to people that don't mean kids any good. You can watch this video and keep the same staff. You know what it's like me showing up and people lying to me about what happened to my son? Me talking to Elsa and she like, ain't nothing happened to your son. You tripping, giving me attitude like I did something to her. I'm encouraging you and I'm challenging you to hire some real staff. Somebody cares. Get a third party in here to teach training to deal with kids with mental health, to deal with kids with special needs, to deal with normal kids with no needs. Get somebody in here that's going to make a difference and stop hanging on to employees that's doing harm. People come and bring their kids to be safe in school. We expect when we send them off that they are going to be okay. Let me give you a little bit past history because I got some time. I want to tell you what we was up against, why we went to court so many times. I'll give you a couple of incidences. My kids was kicked out the out-of-school program right after I requested services for my older son. How about, since he has a ADHD, both types, I'm a share. He has a high metabolism. He asked for more food from Jessica E-Packs. She denied him. So he went in the trash can to get an apple to eat. She wrote him up for petty theft, put that in his file. OCR made them remove it. So when you tell me about this lady and she the best you got, I'm scared. I'm scared for other parents. If that's the best you got, I'm wondering who's the worst, like I said. We got history of ongoing reports and complaints. I've reached out, I've offered. LCR made you do additional training. That has not gotten us nowhere. I need some real change. I need parents to be able to go up and visit their kids without making a 2-day appointment. If our tax dollars pay here, our kids is here, we should be able to come on campus just to see how they're doing regardless. All you did was hire cops to conceal your interactions. I don't appreciate it. Stop weaponizing the police. Stop doing this to parents. You can't keep doing this. We could have avoided all this if you would have returned my call. We could have avoided all this if you would have gave me my son's homework and not lied about what happened. We could have avoided all this if Dr. Leolis would have showed up when he was needed and even called me to tell me that my son was being choked. He stayed in the ghost. I still ain't heard from him. It's like nothing's happened. I appreciate your time, but what I'm expecting to get out of all this is justice for DLJ and my family for going through 10 years of problems, for building a stack of complaints and papers that you should have on record after all we've been through. So I'm trusting that you ensure that they have a safe and productive life by giving them the best education they can, get the services they need, the tutoring service they need, because they're behind. They're behind because of all of this. Because I had to pull 2 kids out of the district from harassment. The only reason why my son stayed because he needed services. All of them behind because they're not getting the proper education. I'm trusting that Dr. Sprouts will place a call to Danielle and say, hey, we're going to give you what you want. We're going to make sure your kids are okay, and we're going to change some policies. And I'm hoping to say, hey, how can you help us bridge the gap between families because you've been in this field for 22 years. I'm hoping that Miss Jessica E-Packs will call me and say, hey, I'm sorry. I am sorry, and I wouldn't want this done to my twin boys. I'm hoping that the board will make some changes, realize that we need a third party. This is the second time I've been up here talking about needing a third party to bridge the gap because of the harassment. But I do appreciate your time. I really do, and I appreciate you listening. I got a whole lot off my chest. I'm hoping to see some change. I'm hoping to see things work out before it gets rougher, because it's going up from here. And I'm going to help people accountable. But I want some action, too, and I want some justice for my son. So I'm praying that everybody would do the right thing. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Mrs. Jordan, and I do know that Dr. Sprout is willing to meet with you tomorrow or as soon as you're ready. Okay? I'll reiterate, we get through this together. Our next regular board meeting will be held on September 14th here at the DAC, and I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor?